The act of going within, finding our truth, and then sharing it, it helps us far more than we know. If you can't do anything about it, laugh like hell. A single death is a tragedy. 1,000,000 deaths is a statistic. There is a certain right by which we may deprive a man of life, but none by which we may deprive him of death. This is mere cruelty. It takes guts and humility to admit mistakes. Admitting we're wrong is courage, not weakness. The more we value things, the less we value ourselves. If you cannot find an element of humor in something, you're not taking it seriously enough. At some point, we all look up and realize we are lost in a maze. When a person can't find a deep sense of meaning, they distract themselves with pleasure. The real glory is being knocked to your knees and then coming back. That's real glory. That's the essence of it. Hope is not a feeling of certainty that everything ends well. Hope is just a feeling that life and work have a meaning. Life isn't worth living unless it is lived for someone else. The truth is not for all men, but only for those who seek it. No boat moves an inch if the sailor has not willed a paddle. We had the experience but missed the meaning. An approach to the meaning restores the experience in a different form. No life is a waste, the blue man said. The only time we waste is the time we spend thinking we're alone. Life without dreams is like a bird with a broken wing. It can't fly. From a certain point onward, there is no longer any turning back. The truth is usually left for us to hunt and gather independently if we are so inclined. Perfection of character is this: to live each day as if it were your last, without frenzy, without apathy, without pretense. Speaking up for people who don't have a voice is important. It's the right thing to do, even if it's hard. Enjoy the little things, for one day you may look back and realize they were the big things. The opposite of a correct statement is a false statement, but the opposite of a profound truth may well be another profound truth. Challenges are gifts that force us to search for a new center of gravity. Don't fight them. Just find a new way to stand. Every single person is sacred. Sacred means special, precious, a treasure of true beauty. That means you. I offer my opponents a bargain. If they will stop telling lies about us, I will stop telling the truth about them. Photographs are the reflection of untold stories, unseen beauties, unexpressed emotions, and the unheard songs of life. Time is heavy sometimes. Imagine how heavy eternity must be. Never let your sense of morals prevent you from doing what is right. Everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth. You must let suffering speak if you want to hear the truth. I hope you live a life you're proud of. If you find that you're not, I hope you have the strength to start all over again. I said somebody should do something about that. Then I realized I am somebody. Go ahead and believe that no one shines brighter than you. Become amazing and be happy. The challenge is to resist circumstances. Any idiot can be happy in a happy place, but moral courage is required to be happy in a hellhole. But to believe that getting stuff is the purpose and aim of life is madness. Fairy tales are more than true, not because they tell us that dragons exist, but because they tell us that dragons can be beaten. Chaos is more freedom, in fact, total freedom, but no meaning. I want to be free to act, and I also want my actions to mean something. Solitary trees, if they grow at all, grow strong. One does no question miracles, or complain that they are no constructed perfectly to one's liking. No matter where life takes me, find me with a smile. Most men would rather deny a hard truth than face it. If we admit that human life can be ruled by reason, then all possibility of life is destroyed. Don't carry your mistakes around with you. place them on the floor and use them as stepping stones to where you want to go. It takes more effort to avoid the truth than it does to face it. Authority without wisdom is like a heavy axe without an edge, fitter to bruise than polish. Nobody is wired wrong, because there's no wrong and right in the way we are. It's a big world, but we are small. Every little thing matters a lot. If your dreams don't scare you, they are too small. Hopes, wants, and wishes, all cast across the night sky with my heart in tow. It is the mark of an educated mind to be able to entertain a thought without accepting it. Power is not revealed by striking hard or often, but by striking true. The beautiful journey of today can only begin when we learn to let go of yesterday. The man who says he can, and the man who says he cannot are both correct. Strive not to be a success, but rather to be of value. Learning to believe you are magnificent, and gradually to discover that you are not magnificent. Enough labor for one human life. Truth will always be truth, regardless of lack of understanding, disbelief, or ignorance. These inspired futures hold futuristic inspirations. I am struck by how sharing our weakness and difficulties is more nourishing to others than sharing our qualities and successes. Even the finest sword plunged into salt water will eventually rust. A boy may be as disagreeable as he pleases, but when a girl refuses to crab sunshine on command, the world mutters darkly about her moods. For those who know the value of an exquisite taste of solitary freedom, the act of leaving is the bravest and most beautiful of all. That's one small step for a man, one giant leap for mankind. You are a cosmic flower. OM chanting is the process of opening the psychic petals of that flower. Fear is oftentimes born of ignorance and misconception. It lays waste to the landscape of the soul. On the whole, human beings want to be good, but not too good, and not quite all the time. The more powerful the class, the more it claims not to exist. It was the truth, and like any truth, it was powerful. If you have not done things worthy of being written about, at least write things worthy of being read. Desire is half of life, indifference is half of death. You have forgotten the one who doesn't care about ownership, who doesn't try to turn a profit from every human exchange. The thorns we endure in life are but shadowed by the precious petals of a rosy outlook. Don't plan or make a financial decision that is dependent on another person without letting them know first. I'm not afraid of death. I just don't want to be there when it happens. The calling of an author is more than just to entertain, but also to share one's experiences with the world. It is impossible or not easy to alter by argument what has long been absorbed by habit. There are some things one remembers even though they may never have happened. In truth, Freud sees nothing and understands nothing. The absurd does not liberate, it binds. It does not authorize all actions. Everything is permitted does not mean that nothing is forbidden. Humans have come into being for the sake of each other, so either teach them or learn to bear them. Wisdom is having things right in your life and knowing why. It is an occupational hazard that anyone who has spent her life learning how to lie eventually becomes bad at telling the truth. We are at our most powerful the moment we no longer need to be powerful. True success cannot be achieved until you have experienced failure. The whole house seemed to exhale a melancholy breath of emptiness. There are two ways to be fooled. One is to believe what isn't true. The other is to refuse to believe what is true. Focus your heart, mind, and soul on joy, and you'll find ultimate success and fulfillment. Truth often sacrificed for the sake of stability and peace. Those who wish to read always find a book. There are new chapters, new pages, and new journey to embark on. Of all sad words of tongue or pen, the saddest are these, "it might have been." Life is infinitely stranger than anything which the mind of man could invent. Take note of how people treat you after you say no to their demands. Everything that happens before death is what counts. To touch the soul of another human being is to walk on holy ground. Be not angry that you cannot make others as you wish them to be, since you cannot make yourself as you wish to be. I never fail. It's just that the people around me succeed more than I. I have never met a man so ignorant that I couldn't learn something from him. You'll never find a rainbow if you're looking down. People who know little are usually great talkers, while men who know much say little. When I tell the truth, it is not for the sake of convincing those who do not know it, but for the sake of defending those that do.